Ilori. All across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.
Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, people of Ekiti. Good evening to our amazing viewers from all over the world. Thank you for tuning in to news updates on 24 News Radio and Television. We are so glad to have you this evening as you listen to the hottest and interesting news coming right now. I am Aiva Karina Wari. The headlines: Ekiti government threatens disaster management office, inaugurates emergency committee. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu supports 250 persons living with disability in Ekiti, launches renewed hope initiative for people living with disabilities. Concerned educationists order tax students on reading culture diligent. Rep faults removal of civic education computer studies from WAEC portal. Exo management constitutes panel over alleged organ harvesting. Tension as bandits raid Ekiti community. And for sports news here, NWFL Ekiti Queens FC battles back to secure 1-1 draw against Adamawa Queens. We'll be going on a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now the news in details. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji has taken an innovative step to fortify the disaster management strategy of his administration at the grassroots as it inaugurated the local emergency management committee across 16 statutory councils of the state. The government restated that the measure would not only cascade responsive emergency management to the third tier, but also bolster effective prevention and prompt responses to emerging disaster cases to mitigate the levels of occurrences and sufferings. The Ekiti State Deputy Governor Monisa Afuye spoke during the inauguration of the first local government chapter of the State Emergency Management Agency in the country at the Conference Hall Governor's Office in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, on Tuesday. Afuye emphasized the imperative of government taking the bull by the horns to abate the rate of rainstorm, fire, and flood disasters in every community in view of their adverse effects on the victims. She stated that the LEMC will complement the giant strides being taken by its parent agency at the state level in making their states safer for all residents, saying that though most of these occurrences are natural, the negative effects could be abated with better and well-planned responses. The deputy governor hinted that the committee is to sensitize the people at the grassroots about disasters and will be the first port of call for the victims before contacting the state if the situation festers beyond control. She appealed to the local government chairman to cooperate with the committee that will be chaired by the vice chairman of all the councils through adequate funding and annual budgetary provisions to make new innovation effective. Afuye urged the residents to take precautions by closing their cooking gas cylinder knob, turning off electricity sources and electrical appliances, devising a flood control mechanism, and guarding against indiscriminate bush burning to avert occurrences that can spark off major disasters in the state. The general manager, Ekiti State Emergency Management Agency, Oludare Asaolu, said the LEMC was specifically conceptualized to coordinate disaster response efforts, provide aid to affected communities, facilitate communication between the agency and the communities, and design disaster risk reduction plans. Asaolu disclosed further that the committee would be fully supported by traditional rulers who would provide community leadership and mobilization, identify areas of vulnerability and risks, support evacuation and relief efforts, as well as promote community preparedness and awareness. The First Lady of Nigeria and National Chairman of Renewed Hope Initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on Wednesday empowered 250 persons with disabilities in Ekiti State with 50 million naira grants to boost their economic independence and improve their livelihood. Each of the persons with disabilities was presented 200 naira cash at the event, which held at the Lady Jibowu Hall, Government House at Ekiti. Speaking at the event, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who was represented by the wife of Ekiti State Governor and ROHI State Coordinator, Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji, highlighted the importance of inclusion and equal opportunity, stressing that the initiative was part of a broader national vision to ensure that no one is left behind in the social and economic development of the country. Senator Oluremi, who also launched the Renewed Hope Initiative, Economic Empowerment for People with Disabilities, to commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disability, said the Economic Empowerment Program, which held simultaneously across the 36 states, would provide business recapitalization grants of 200,000 naira to 250 persons with disabilities in each state and the Federal Capital Territory to help strengthen their existing businesses, enhance their livelihood, and achieve greater self-reliance, while maintaining that the program aligns with the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which seeks inclusive growth and shared prosperity. The wife of the president explained that over the past 2 years, the initiative has supported more than 100,000 women petty traders and small business owners, support agriculture, education, health, as well as provide emergency relief to vulnerable communities, victims of disasters, and internally displaced persons across the country. Expressing her profound gratitude to the Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Abiodun Oyebanji, and his wife, Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji, for their support and for complementing the efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at ensuring that no one is left behind in the development agenda of the country. The First Lady also assured that the empowerment program would now be an annual event for persons with disabilities to mark their day. An associate professor from Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Abuad, Ifeoluwa Yimika Bamidele, and other stakeholders in education sector in Nigeria, has called on students to be diligent and imbibe the reading culture, attitude, and be diligent in their education career to have a better future. They gave the charge in Ado-Ekiti on the third edition of annual school conference with the theme 10 times better mastering academic excellence, organized for secondary school students in Ekiti by a legal practitioner, Ife Oladunjoye Empowerment Initiative. According to Bamidele, solution to examination malpractice required the entire cooperation among the parents that impact informal education. Both teachers and governments at all levels, including the children themselves, has roles to play to make it happen. Children must be trained on how to display and imbibe cultural virtues to promote learning in them. On her own part, the convener, Barrister Ifeoluwa Oladunjoye, disclosed that the idea came to her when she was much younger, having been participated in so many school competitions. She promised herself to always give back to the society as a way of impacting lives positively for the benefit of Nigerian students. The Abuad alumnus, who charged participants to make use of those opportunities surrounding them on time, encouraged them on the need to key into reading culture for a better tomorrow.
Education has changed. The type of education young persons can determine the future of the nation and the future of this young people. So education should be right, and then this school should be given. Young people should be properly educated, and teacher welfare strong attention, and this will make us proud of the young people that we are raising.
Before you can know what your strength
Some of the governments have said,
you must know who you are. Is that not true?
Very, very conscious of
Is that not true?
and the environment.
Before you can know your strength, you must actually know
better
who
nation. And
exactly
important,
you are and what you
attention
are
is
doing.
given can happen in no distance. My child, everyone is listening, parents, students, to stakeholders, and industry, to know that being 10 times better requires some level of dedication. So challenges will come. However, you have to be tenacious. One of the questions they asked me was that what is the character or quality that I've seen in some of my students that have been the best across those 15 years of my teaching experience? And I said, the students who win scholarship of £100,000 or $100,000, how many applications have you made? How many places have you gone to? Do you have mentors? Do you have people better? Do you have people who are also mentoring?
You identify
yourself. The friends of people, they can tell you sometimes better. So for everyone who is participating here today, and those who are watching or listening, being 10 times better requires effort, requires tenacity. And I'm sure that everyone who is listening and moving through this challenge also be able to understand that it will take some effort and we must start.
It appears that education might have been on a decline, even though there could be arguments for both sides. I mean, now we have the internet, we have technology to help us harness better information on the go, rather than those days that we have to go to library and then looking for textbooks to reference. But it appears that because there's a lot of distraction, because the internet has brought information, but there's also brought other things that could be distracting. TikTok, I could be on TikTok and all I'm just watching is dancing. Somebody else is there and is learning something skillful, data analytics or public speaking. So it depends on how you use your time. Now, if we leave the young ones without guidance, it is almost guaranteed that they will derail and be distracted. And then we come back and say, oh, the quality of education, it should make reform that will be suitable for the 21st century students, both for the teachers and the students. The notes cannot be the same that you taught in the 2000s. Things have changed. I would also say that better remuneration for our teachers, because of course the better remunerate them, the better they're able to put in their best. They're also able to improve their knowledge. And our facilities, oh my God, some schools of pictures I see, some schools do not have furniture. How do we expect students to learn in that kind of environment? And what we don't understand is that when people learn in mediocre environments, mediocrity goes into their mind. And even when they grow up and they cannot seemingly afford things, maybe for some luck or whatever, they become permanent secretaries or commissioners of education. They wouldn't see anything wrong in the dilapidated school because after all, I passed through that system. So what goes into the mind is very important. Education is beyond the book and the notes. It is everything in the environment. So I encourage government to work on our facilities, provide libraries, equip them, and of course encourage the students. We cannot say we're encouraging the students to read and that when we are not even provided the facility, it goes hand in hand. And we're also going to teach them the culture of maintenance. They're going to use the reward system, right? You do well, you get a reward. You do bad, you get a sanction. And I believe that when we have an holistic reform, we will definitely get better results.
The question of examination practices don't just started today. It has been a thing of the past, and it's a result of addition of culture, civilization. By expansion, the causes are so many. Started from home. The parents that have to give the former teacher, they have not neglected their duty of giving these children moral education. Due to the teacher, the government will contribute so much because they are known more the best in education so much. Like I have a saying in my family: education without milk, just like a tea without sugar. The parents are no more promoting moral. They bringing up the children. They are exposed to a dependent life very early in their life. What we don't time.
Learned that I should make decisions and be disciplined in order to control my destiny. I also learned I have to be confident, compassionate, and passionate with my work in order have to be 10 times better than any other person. That for someone to be 10 times better, they have to make a decision and be more determined than anybody else. So those that are using the internet to generate most of these ideas, let me just tell you something. In your exams, you do not have access to this gadget, so I advise you learn to increase your confidence in yourself, and also I will advise you become independent so you can generate your ideas from your mind, because God has given you the mind to generate all things. He has given you the power. My advice to everyone using AI and other things.
What I'm thinking about is that whatever and to stand up if they fail, stand up and
The program also featured interactive section and exchanging of pleasantries with a call to the government and other stakeholders to rescue the nation from the menace ravaging the progress of education. In all, it was on record that 5 schools registered for this life-changing program, with a total number of 63 students across different schools duly participated amidst excitement and appreciation. We'll be going on a short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and info that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.
Welcome back. Thank you for still staying put. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government through the Ministry of Education to rethink the removal of civic education, computer studies, and electrical installation, amongst others, from the West African Examination Council portal, citing the significance of the subjects to national development. The resolution of the House followed the consideration and adoption of the motion of urgent public importance moved during Thursday's plenary by the member representing Yenegua Opokoma Federal Constituency, Bayelsa State, Oboko of Forji. Speaking on the motion, although a review of the national curriculum is necessary from time to time, the affected across the world, he said, while acknowledging the effort to enhance the national curriculum, the timing is not just right. Trade subjects like data processing are among the most popular and widely offered subjects in many schools across the country because of their market relevance and student interest. Computer studies is almost universally offered and is fundamental to modern digital literacy, making its sudden removal counterproductive at a time where the world is going digital. Similarly, civic education, which was previously a compulsory subject in all secondary schools, is no longer, as students have been mandated to study it for 2 years. Some armed bandits have attacked the Ga Fulani community in Iyemero, Ikole local government area of Ekiti State on Wednesday evening, abducting residents and looting valuables in a raid that lasted between 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. 24 News correspondents gathered that the attackers stormed homes and stole phones, ATM cards, cash, clothing, shoes, bags, jewelry, and wristwatches belonging to residents. They were, however, intercepted shortly by the Yemero Community Security Network, supported by soldiers stationed nearby, triggering a prolonged gunshot across the forest linking Ekiti, Kwara, and Kogi. It was learned that the resistance forced the bandits to release their captives and flee. All the abducted persons were rescued. The bandits realized they had been overpowered and took to their heels, a source said. The chairman board of management of Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, Ado-Ekiti, Dr. Adedamola Dada, has constituted a 7-man panel of inquiry to look into the alleged case of a kidney removal in the hospital by Mr. Joshua Folayan, a patient on the hospital who had surgery recently in the facility. According to a statement made available to 24 News, Radio and Television in Ado-Ekiti by the head corporate affairs, Rolake Adewumi said, members of the panel include Professor Francis Fadoyile, an anatomic pathologist from the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lagos, will serve as chairman of the panel. Other members include Professor Patrick Temi Adegun of the Federal University, Oye-Ekiti, Dr. Henry Abiyere from Federal Teaching Hospital, Ido-Ekiti, Dr. Adebola Adeniyi Abaje, General Manager, Progress FM, Ado-Ekiti. Others are Reverend Emmanuel Adeyinka Aribashoye, Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Ekiti State Branch, High Chief Professor Babatunde Akindele, the Elemo of Ado-Ekiti, a community leader, and Barrister Adebayo Titilayo, the legal advisor to Ekiti State Ministry of Health, who will serve as secretary to the panel. The panel has 10 days to submit its report. The hospital management reassured the public that no stone will be left unturned to determine the issues involved in this matter. The management noted that members of this panel are independent and responsible members of the community who would exhibit fairness and justice. All the affected parties and the general public were urged to cooperate with the panel as the findings are being awaited. Ekiti Queens Football Club has settled for a 1-1 draw against the visiting counterparts, Adamawa Queens Football Club, at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado-Ekiti, in a match that left home supporters deeply disappointed after witnessing several missed chances and laid tension across the stands. The game opened with strong intent from Ekiti Queens, who held early momentum and pressed aggressively in a search of breakthrough against the determined defensive line. Throughout the first half, Ekiti Queens controlled possession and created a series of promising openings, producing more than 10 shots on target. Although none of those efforts succeeded in beating the Adamawa Queens goalkeeper, who maintained remarkable composure under constant pressure from repeated waves of attack by the home side. The visitors improved their rhythm after the restart and capitalized on a moment of hesitation when Adamawa Queens attacker lifted a calm lob over the Ekiti Queens goalkeeper, who had advanced too far from her position, giving the visiting side a 1-0 advantage and raising the anxiety of the home crowd as the minutes continued to slip away. As tension increased inside the stadium, Ekiti Queens pushed forward in a search of an equalizer, and their persistence was rewarded when a defensive mix-up in the Adamawa Queens backline resulted in an own goal that brought the score to 1-1, restoring hope but leaving little time for a complete turnaround before the referee ended the contest. With this result coming after their opening day defeat to Heartland Queens, Ekiti Queens now remain on a single point after 2 match days and will look to regroup as they prepare to host Edo Queens on December 12th, in a fixture that already carries added importance for their early season campaign. That is for sports news. This news was edited and packaged by Demola Atobaba. The headlines, let's retake them so you don't miss out on any. Ekiti government threatens disaster management office, inaugurates emergency committee. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu supports 250 persons with disability in Ekiti, launches renewed hope initiative for persons with disability. Concerned educationists order tax students on reading culture diligence. The reps fault removal of civic education, computer studies from WAEC portal. EXU management constitute panel over alleged organ harvesting. Tension as bandits raid Ekiti community. And lastly, for the sports headline and news, NWFL Ekiti Queens FC battles back to secure 1-1 draw against Adamawa Queens. That is all we have for you today on 24 News Radio and TV. This is News Update. Stay tuned next time. We hope to see you again tomorrow at the same time on the same platform. Thank you for always joining us. I am Ayeba Karina Awari. Bye.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across